Good evening. Welcome to another exciting edition of So Into Bourbon. Charlie, tell them what we're doing.
Tonight, we're doing Horse Soldier.
All right, Charlie, so Horse Soldier. There's a story behind this.
Yep.
As there's always stories behind pretty much every bourbon, but this one's a little different, a little special.
This one is. So immediately after the events of September 11th in 2001, a detachment of 12 Green Berets were sent over to Afghanistan to mess things up. Like immediately. Okay. And they didn't have tanks and they didn't have any support. They were sent over there to disrupt the Taliban in any way, shape, or form. And how they did that was they got some horses.
On horseback.
On horseback.
So kind of back to World War I.
Yeah, like literally. So these Green Berets, they are, and I want to get this right, there were 12 of them. They were part of the Special Operations Team ODA 595. That is Operation Task Force Dagger, featured in the movie 12 Strong.
I have not seen that movie.
You know what? I haven't either. And that's not a cool thing. We should probably watch it, but I don't know, the older I get...
We need to get better at our pre-show research, don't we?
But I don't know, the older I get...
You fall asleep during movies?
Yeah, that. But I want to hear about the real thing. Right. Like, so, and we'll get into the movie and how it ties in.
And it's
like,
true.
I want to hear...
You kind of get jaded. You know the movies are all...
I know the movie is going to be an embezzlement.
Artistic.
License and this. I want to hear the real story about the real guys that were really there. Because these guys, 12 guys are like, you're going over there and you're going to unite a bunch of, warlords against the Taliban and you're going to take over the country.
Great plan.
Correct, 100%. Like chance of success, chances of you dying, really high. Yeah. But they did. They accomplished their mission. So they were led by a guy named Mark Nutch, who is the head of ODA 595. They were the horse soldiers, and they went over there and kicked ass.
Awesome. So how did the bourbon come about?
That's a great question. They came back and they were like, we should start a bourbon brand. And that's what they did. And it's super awesome. So they've got a distillery. They're farming things out now in Columbus, Ohio. That's where they've got a distillery. They also have an urban still house and restaurant in St. Petersburg, Florida. And they have broken ground on their permanent home, which is going to be in Somerset, Kentucky.
Awesome. Is that they're going to distill their own
spirits? They're going to distill their own spirits and do their own thing. What I think is the coolest part of Horse Soldier, besides the fact that it is a group of these individuals who founded badasses, is that every bottle of Horse Soldier is formed. The mold for the bottles is World Trade Center steel.
Oh, wow.
The Port Authority gave them some steel from the World Trade, and they made the form that makes the bottle. It is not this label. That is not the steel from World Trade. It's what makes the bottle. So World Trade Center steel forged all these bottles. And I think that's really cool.
It is cool. Is there some type of benefit or charity that they donate to?
They do support first responders and members of the special operations community with every bottle that you purchase.
Awesome.
So, and all of this, they've got an awesome kick-ass website and all the cool stuff that they do. So check out their website, horsesoldierbourbon.com, and take a look. So we've got 2 offerings. They have 3. Tonight we will be drinking their straight bourbon whiskey, which is this guy right here, which happens to be autographed by Mark Nutch, the head of 595, who was played by Chris Hemsworth in the movie. That's right, Thor. So I was actually, quick story time with Charlie.
Totally lost.
You know who Chris Hemsworth is? He's an actor.
Name.
Thor, like he played Thor.
I've heard of Thor.
So big dude, very like rugged. Yeah. Right. So I was fortunate enough to be at an event where Mr. Nutch was there and speaking. And I kind of saw him in the lobby prior to him speaking, didn't know who it was, but just, he looks like a plain old dude, like, right? Like just a guy. Could be you, could not me because I'm big and fat.
Yeah, it could be me.
And then he gets up and he starts talking, you realize this guy is a badass. And it just makes me laugh because we watch these movies, and you mentioned being jaded, we watch these movies and we think that all these guys and these special operators are, you know, like these huge, big dude, like superstar looking. They're just regular Americans that answer the call. And I think that's very cool, and to keep into perspective that these aren't superheroes. These are regular, everyday Americans that answered the call to serve.
That is cool.
So,
Charlie, let's get to tasting.
So we are
What's the
tasting
mash bill?
straight bourbon whiskey, 65% corn, 30% rye, and 5% malted barley. It is a high rye mash bill.
Age stated?
It is age stated. It says on the back, aged a minimum of 2 years. So to be called a straight bourbon whiskey, you have to be aged a minimum of 2 years, and it must have an age statement if it's under 4. So my gut instinct tells me this is probably a blend of 2, 3, 4-year-old stuff. Yeah. And this is distilled in Columbus, Ohio. It's got kind of a nice amber color on it. It really puts a crazy ring around the glass. You getting those legs? Like, look at that. Like, that's syrupy.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm getting a lot of, I'm not gonna lie, it smells young.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of corn on the nose.
Well, it is young, but I get a lot of rye spice too. I mean, it's 30% rye.
And what's the proof?
This is, I should have known that, 43.5%. So that'd be 87.
87, yes. Okay.
87 proof. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's drink some Horse Soldier.
All right. Can I go?
Yeah, go.
First impression, and it is 87 proof, so to my palate, very watered down. Not a lot going on. I do get the rye.
Yep.
There's some rye spice there. There's a little bit of citrusy fruit going on. That's about it.
I think, and I like this for a variety of reasons. Number one, I think this is a fine sipping whiskey.
Yes.
I paid, so let's talk retail. I bought this at a grocery store for $41.99. Now, that for 2-year-old whiskey, age stated at least 2 years old, that's probably a little high, but I love the bottle, I love the story, I love the mission, I love everything about it. I also love their choice of mash bill.
I like the mash bill.
Because if you've ever had 2 or 3-year-old whiskey, 4-year-old whiskey, if it's high corn, it's really high corn. I think this choice of mash bill really lends this to be a little drinkable bottle of whiskey.
I feel like with a little more age, a little more proof, this would probably be a pretty daggone good whiskey.
There is nothing wrong with that as it sits right now.
No,
like it's a fine sipping bourbon.
I think this will appeal, and maybe that's the point of this, to appeal to maybe new bourbon drinkers or to pull someone in, maybe an entry level bourbon.
You know, the story sells the bottle, right? Like they're putting a product out that is what they have on hand. And kudos. I've had much worse from Starbucks.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not
much.
I don't hate this. It's not offensive. It's not.
Yeah,
it's just.
It's young.
Yeah, it's young. It's young.
Yep.
And it's a little under what I like, what I prefer as far as proof.
Yeah, and that's personal preference, but it's an absolutely drinkable bottle of bourbon.
Yes, we have had in the past couple months some really not pleasant bottles that are new, 2-year to 3-year. I've had I've had 4 and 5-year-old stuff that isn't as good as this. Exactly.
And I really like this mash bill because I like the rye. I think the rye really counteracts that young corniness, and I like it. I think it's great, and first of all, it's a beautiful bottle. It's a great story to tell. It's great to have on your bar, and a great cause.
Absolutely.
So next we have the barrel strength bourbon. So this is not age stated. It is 124 proof.
This is a different mash bill.
This is a different mash bill. So still distilled in Columbus, Ohio. 70% corn, 20% wheat, and 10% malted barley. So it is a wheater. If you know about me and watch our stuff, you know I don't like wheaters, but
I almost wish we had a barrel proof version of this to taste.
yeah.
So this obviously is much
So
darker.
the one we're missing is the small batch.
Okay.
This is straight bourbon whiskey. There's a small batch that's in the middle, and then there's a lot darker.
Good cling to the glass.
Yeah, puts a nice ring around it.
Smell that wheat right away. It's got that wheat funk.
Yeah, it does, but there's another kind of, like almost like a campfire smell to it. Like kind of some...
It's a little smoky.
Yeah, a little smoky.
And you probably already said, is this the same age? Is it still just...
No, this is non-age stated, but it is rumored to be between 6 and 8 years old.
Okay.
So we know it's older than 4 years old because it doesn't have an age statement and it's still straight bourbon whiskey. And if you are like, well, how do you know that? You should go back and watch our shorts about Bourbon 101.
And do we know where this is sourced from?
This is sourced from Columbus, Ohio. American
so
Freedom
they are
Distillery.
distilling their own?
Well, they are partnering with a distillery in Columbus, Ohio right now. I like this.
I don't mind the nose, yeah.
I like it. It's got
the classic wheater nose.
124 proof. You want to go? You want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go. A little hot. Mm-hmm. But honestly, overall, it's not terrible.
It is a little hot. Not overwhelming. It's really peppery, which I really didn't expect from. There's no rye in the mash bill.
Right.
So it's kind of got that nice peppery oakiness to it. It really sits mid-palate.
It does.
And it just lingers. And then the finish is kind of nice and pleasant and oaky. But I will tell you,
a little honey on the finish.
there is a little sweetness comes through from the corn, I guess. I like this. We didn't.
It's wheated.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have.
We did an episode a few months back about larceny, barrel proof. Really excited about it because we both kind of liked. Larceny is one of the only wheaters that I kind of like the standard small batch. I was excited for the barrel proof and I thought it was overproofed and I didn't enjoy it. This to me is better than the Larceny barrel proof.
You know, I would really want to taste it again neck and neck to say that. But yeah, I kind of see where you're going. It's not bad. It's really. I think there's a lot of promise here.
That's a really good bottle of. And wheaters are somewhat hard to come by. Barrel proof wheaters are even harder to come by. That's a great bottle. Now this bottle is going to retail, if you find it, $79-$89. So it is a premium product. They are selling a premium product. But again, it's. No matter what bourbon you're drinking, every bourbon, every distillery, everybody has a story. Whether it's Pappy Van Winkle or Larceny and the Fitzgerald thieving everything,
and some of the just made up shit.
Some of it's made up. This is
a real story.
Real guys who are really still around, who are really still out there and really still doing their thing. And you have to, number one, respect it. And then number two, you have to admire. And the thing and I guess it's getting older, that kind of puts things into perspective for me. 12 guys, immediately after September 11th, which if you're of a certain age, you remember kind of not only what happened, but how we felt. Go halfway around the world to war on horseback with 12 people, survive, and now fast forward to 2023 and they're making bourbon and have a restaurant and stuff. Like, if that isn't the quintessential American dream and to put things into perspective of where you're at now. Who knows where you're going to be in 20 years? Like that, to me, is just an almost overwhelming story.
Yeah, it's hard not to like that story.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to want to support this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you should definitely check out the website. They have a restaurant in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's unbelievable. I think they have like 350 bourbons, some of it rare, and it's the coolest thing. He was telling us about the restaurant when they opened. They opened, of course, the week of COVID and said, so they had to deal with all of that. But he said they're open like 3 days a week and a fourth day for brunch. And they're booked out weeks and weeks and weeks.
You know what just hit me while you were talking? In both of, well, not the first one, but the barrel proof, very hot right up front, right? And I'm thinking, isn't that, I can imagine, Green Beret guys, if they're going to have a drink, they're going to want something to kind of,
they're not drinking,
punch them in the mouth. They're not, they're not sipping on Trulies.
Yeah, maybe a little stereotypical, but I think probably fits. They're not drinking for, hey, Gunner, throw me a White Claw. Yeah, probably not.
Exactly.
I got to tell you, so this is my bottle. It's been open for a while, and I drink a little out of it every once in a while. That's a really good pour. It really is, and you should definitely pick one up, support a good cause, and do some research on them. Really cool. There's been books written, obviously the movie. Mark Nutch is the kind of the main guy. Check out what they're doing because they're doing some really cool stuff.
Absolutely. Check it out. And while you're at it,
it's hat time.
It's hat time. We really want to get rid of this hat. Not because we don't like it. We love it. But we want to give it to someone.
How are we giving it away, Glenn?
Well, Charlie, what you need to do, like our channel, like our video, subscribe. Now, this isn't required, but go to Instagram, find Someone in Bourbon on Instagram, check out Whiskey Realtor on TikTok. But the most important thing is, send us an email. Tell them the email address, Charlie.
It's Glenn Hockersmith at... No, it's not. It is someoneinbourbon@gmail.com. And in the subject line, you're going to write hat. And then in the copy, write us your favorite war movie. And why?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a really
and what's your favorite war movie? And don't make it something lame. Make it a good one. And then after we hit 500, there are lame war movies.
You can't tell people what their favorite movie can be.
I can absolutely
Just because
do that.
you think it's lame doesn't mean it's lame.
After we hit 500 subscribers, we're almost there. We're at 300. Subscribe. We will give away the hat and a box of goodies. And we were just combing through. We've got a bunch of cool bourbon swag that we have been collecting for quite a long time and are still collecting, and we'll throw it in that box. You want to win this box.
Yes, you do. So do that. And as always, Charlie, tell them what to do.
Keep your glasses full and your bung holes tight. Good night, everybody. Either we're 11, 12, 13, cut, start over.
Because we're soldiers and we ride horses.
We'll cut that out. But.
What's going on here? What are we doing?
Sorry, I was watching a reel. Don't stop me now.
Having a good time.
Having a good time. Horse soldiers killing Taliban. Action. Oh, nope.
What? I was flipping off the Taliban, by the way. Oh, do you have a...
I got my...
Oh, wardrobe change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continuity. Don't look. I'm fat.
Oh, I wish I had a remote control. I could turn the camera.
Did you lean toward my chair to do that? Which... No, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
Was the 13 colonies, it says divided.
I have to do everything.
It's such soft hands.
It's kind of an intimate moment.
I just hear careless whisper while that was going on. All right. Manly horse soldier after Mike Fix. Afghanistan.